Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. Okay, so I asked you guys to send me through your questions in order to celebrate really the 75,000 subscribers here on the channel. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much to all of you who have subscribed. I'm really grateful to your support. So yeah, with that being said, then let's jump right into your questions. Now I just want to say a quick side note that I'm not going to be able to answer every single question that I received, so what I've done is I've picked a few, so we'll go from there. And also just to let you know that my boyfriend is going to be asking the questions, so if you hear a voice in the background, that's just him. Alright, let's do this.
The first question comes from Gunn. They've asked, what's your favourite zodiac sign and how do you plan on spending your time in the lockdown?
Well, my favourite zodiac sign, I used to have a favourite zodiac sign, and that used to be Taurus. So I said that for a good while, but after studying astrology for a lot longer and of course meeting more people throughout my life and knowing more to do with their sign and the different placements they have, I've come to the conclusion now that I currently don't have a favourite zodiac sign anymore, so that's where I stand on that. But in terms of what I do, what was it, the lockdown?
Yeah, how do you spend your time during the lockdown?
How do I spend my time during the lockdown? Well, editing, recording. The good thing is that with my circumstances, I work from home anyway, so I've just been working a lot from home, and I really like watching YouTube videos. I enjoy listening to music. Nothing too overly exciting, I just do a lot of work, and that's really involved with editing, script writing, recording, all that good stuff. What's the next question then?
So Alexander has two questions for you. The first is, what does it mean to be truly connected to someone?
Ooh, that's a good question. What does it mean to be truly connected? Well, this is funny because in a time right now, right, we are going through this whole coronavirus and we're all separated physically and there's this social distancing. So in terms of connecting, there's not that physical connection, and so we're being connected through social media, computers, and that's kind of where we've went for where we're going and where we've been for a good while now, given that technology is on the rise. But does that mean that we're not necessarily that connected, or are we still connected? I think in this respect, I think it's good to still have physical connection. I think it's still good to have emotional connection, mental connection, spiritual connection. So maybe to be truly connected with someone, it maybe varies. Like, it varies in terms of these different levels, maybe. So that to me it's a very big, that's a really big question to answer.
So the second question they've asked is, also, would you be nervous if you met one of your subscribers in real life?
Would I be nervous? I think I would be nervous, yeah, because there's a part of me that does, I want to make a good impression on people, and I want to be liked for, who I am, of course. I think that's normal. So yeah, I think there would probably be nerves involved with that.
Nicole asks, can you show your birth chart?
I can show my birth chart. I don't mind showing my birth chart. I'll put like an image here somewhere if you want to see my birth chart. As you can see, I have a lot of 4th house energy, a lot of 5th house energy. Yes, my family life is huge. Like, it's such a big key in my development. I suppose family life is a big key for everyone's development, but for me, I grew up with a lot of brothers and sisters and a lot of complex times, but I'll not go too deep into that. But yeah, a lot of my chart is really focused on family and also on just creativity and art and things like that. And I feel like from astrology and starting this YouTube channel, a lot of my creative juices have been able to flow, which has been really, really cool.
Are you planning on doing any videos anytime soon to do with your birth chart?
This is something that when I first started learning about astrology, I was so eager to want to show my birth chart, and in actuality I do have an image of my birth chart anyway on Instagram. There is an image there, but in terms of going through it, explaining parts of myself, yes, I was so eager at the very beginning. But the more that I've developed and matured, not only with astrology, but just as an adult in general, I'm a little bit more hesitant to want to share those things, because I recognize that the older I get, the more private I become. Especially when you kind of notice through social media and the whole oversharing and the backlash that people can get. It's made me just, yeah, more private and more to myself. So in terms of me showing my birth chart, I may later down the line, but at the same time, that's not guaranteed. I don't know. It's an uncertain area.
Isa asks, what are your interests besides astrology?
What are my interests? My personality, I gotta say, whenever I have an interest or a passion, that's it. Like, I focus on it so much so that I will not shut up about it. It becomes something that I just breathe in general. Having other interests, yeah, I like to walk. I like cats. I really like cats. I like dogs too, you know. Every time I see a cat, I can't help but like stare at the cat and want to pet the cat. But yeah, I mean, I've liked singing as well. I used to sing when I was younger, and I would say it's still an interest of mine. And I love music as well. Yeah, so I suppose I do have other interests besides astrology, just not interests that I would go all in towards and like it's what I think about all the time. Astrology is that subject where I'm like, right, I just want to do it all day, every day.
Rebecca asks, how are you settling in your new house, and have you noticed any difference between moving normally compared to in a pandemic?
Settling in very well, thank you very much. Going very well. The moving in during a pandemic, I'm gonna say yes, there was a little bit of anxiety with it, and to be honest, if anything, I'm really glad that I got moved in before the hype, you know, the height of it, because we're still a long way to go, I think, with this, possibly another couple months. So if anything, yeah, I'm really glad that I got moved in beforehand. But yeah, I do think there was some stress, some worry with it, but I'm glad to be in and kind of grounded again.
Dinesh asks, if you had to have a superpower, which one would you choose?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know a lot of the superpowers, do you?
What, flying? Like
flying, invisibility, telepathy, seeing through stuff, teleportation. Well, I think teleportation, yeah. Teleportation would be pretty cool. Yeah, that would be class.
They also said, would you mind singing that song for us?
Yeah, that was this from the 73 Questions with Aquarius, and I just randomly did it. I don't even remember that. I was just doing that because I thought it was just a very Aquarian thing, just to do random noises.
It is. The next question is from Tom Bell. He said, I've heard compatibility between two individuals that have more to do with the moon placement than it does their sun sign. I've also heard that the compatibility between two individuals has more to do with the Venus and Mars placements. What's your opinion on the subject?
Okay, good question, Tom. And also thank you for being a loyal subscriber and supporter of the channel. So I think when it comes to these placements, talk about the moon, talk about Venus and Mars, yes, they can be very important when it comes to compatibility. It could be suggested that the moon is maybe more important in terms of that comfort, you know, so feeling comfortable around someone, and so the compatibility, to have good compatibility would be really beneficial. So with that, in comparison to the sun, I can see why it would be seen as more important. Also with Venus and Mars, you can kind of see that in terms of the sexual chemistry, the attraction, love, and these types of things. So it depends then maybe on the type of relationship, you know, to occur when it comes to compatibility. So with love and romance, then yes, you could look at Venus, and then when it comes to sexual attraction, you could look to Mars. But then even just from a friendship standpoint, maybe the moon can also be quite beneficial and good to look at there as well. But yeah, you know, compatibility is just something that is so, I'm gonna be honest, it's so diverse, it's so huge. You know, there's all these different layers to compatibility, and even if you see two charts and they may seem not compatible together, at the same time that doesn't mean that they can't be. You know, I feel like compatibility within astrology is such a grey area. Astrology overall can be a highly grey area. So yeah, to just kind of look at compatibility in a very overall sense, just keep in mind that there's all these different layers to it. But I will still agree that when it comes to the moon and Venus and Mars, maybe it's a very, very good idea to look at these placements and to see how compatible they are with another person's, to really see how you can get that romantic, committed union, partnership going together.
Brooke asked the next question. She said, where did you learn / study astrology?
Where did I learn / study astrology? Well, I gotta say, it's all been really me learning through YouTube videos, reading different books on astrology. It's very self-educated, and astrology is something that I never really saw coming in my life. It kind of found me in a way, strangely. It just was quite a sudden thing. And so what's interesting is that there was a gentleman that I used to work with in one of the hospitals here in Northern Ireland, and he ended up pointing me in the direction of this library, and it had all these different spiritual books, philosophy books, psychology, astrology. And so I was able to go and pick up some of these astrology books because of the help of him. I got a lot of them, I took them, and I just started reading a lot through the material, and then from there I just started making videos about astrology, but I didn't really have the awareness, I didn't really have the understanding. It was just quite a naive way of learning it and sharing it with other people. But with time and perseverance over the years, I've actually been able to not only read about it, but actually understand it as well, and see it as well within my own day-to-day life. So I think that's something that I've noticed when it comes to astrology in terms of my learning development. So yeah, I've really learned it through different materials and resources, and I do recommend YouTube videos on astrology, like just watching so many. I used to just plug in my earphones and just have videos on repeat and constantly just programming my brain. That's another thing, it's just continuous programming. Yeah, through also interactions with people. So like seeing how astrology plays out within my everyday life, that was a huge thing too. All these different measures that I went to really learn about astrology. So I'm really thankful to all that has provided content for me to view and learn from.
What advice would you give to anyone that's starting to learn astrology? Like, what would be the most important thing?
Advice that I would give? be patient. I would say be patient. Astrology is a subject that when you first look at it, it can be so incredibly overwhelming, but at the same time, it can be a complete journey, and you're going to be learning about all of these different little compartments within a bigger picture. And maybe in that respect, try to navigate your own unique learning style. Do you learn more from the outside in or from the inside out? It's really about trying to go with your own way, you know, and being patient with that and trying not to necessarily rush it, because I know that I have the tendency of being the type of person who wants to know everything at once, and I'm like, no, but I need to know it now. But yeah, astrology is the subject that made me slow down and just be like, right, no, I need to be patient, I need to keep going and just go on with the process. And each day, each week, each year, you get better. And so that would be my advice ultimately. Patience, and learn what really truly works for you.
The next question then is from Teresa, and she asks, if you had to describe yourself as an animal, which one would it be and why?
As an animal?
Yeah.
Oh, is it really bad if I say just cat? Like I feel like a cat sometimes,
You
because
get on like a cat sometimes.
Yeah, I think a cat, because cats are just so independent, you know. Cats are just like, they can go off and just do their own thing. They don't need anybody necessarily, and I can give that off, but at the same time, I want affection. I really do want to be petted, so to speak, and you can see that in cats. Cats flirt with me all the time. I see what they do. I say this to my boyfriend all the time. They're flirting with me. Yes. Yeah, I think a cat fits me because it gives the allure that like they're so independent and they're free and they don't need anyone. But on the inside, it's like, no, 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 but please, like, pet me, love me, feed me, care for me.
Jesus.
No? Is that what you thought they resonated with me?
The last question then comes from Rachel. She says, congratulations, I've learned so much from you. Thank you for the videos. Then she asks, which sign is the sign we are destined to become more like, is our true selves in astrology?
Okay, so I remember reading this question, and I think you were wanting to know between like the sun, moon, or rising, or you were talking also about the North Node in terms of destiny and things like that. It's a good question. I'm under the understanding from the information that I've read upon astrology is that it's mainly the sun sign that is the sign that we are striving to become. And then, of course, the North Node can also look at the direction by which we're headed in life as well, coming from the South Node. Now, how do I say accurate that is in terms of the true self, that is something that I'm also trying to come to terms with, because I also question, well, what does that mean? You know, what does it mean to be your true self? There's a lot of, like I was saying earlier, there can be a lot of grey areas when it comes to astrology, and I think it's good to look at it through a lens of questioning it, and trying to understand it for yourself. And so my whole thing is that the older I personally get, I do recognize more of my Aquarius sun coming. I feel like my moon sign, my Aries moon, I did act more like an Aries moon whenever I was younger, very reckless, very fiery, and I was a very angry child. But I can also see how my Aquarius energy was coming through there as well. But still, I am kind of noticing within my own life that I'm becoming much more like my Aquarius sun. But in terms of it being my true self, that's very difficult, because I don't know, right? That's it. I don't know what does that truly mean. This is a question that so many people have been trying to figure out. What does it mean to be truly you? I don't know, maybe that's a very Aquarian answer even to say, but still, it's a highly complex question to answer, but I hope I was able to answer it in some way, shape or form for you. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that's all the questions that I'm going to answer in today's Q&A video. Again, I just want to say thank you so much for all of your support for 75,000 subscribers. It is incredible. I will most likely do more Q&A videos in the future, especially for getting to 100,000, so that is the next goal. So make sure you subscribe if you have not already, and yeah, stay tuned for more content here on the channel. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you have, and I will catch you on the next video on Hannah's Elsewhere. Bye!